I'm in love with you. Huh? You want to do it? No. I'm going to do the Lubavitch.
Kind of getting there.
Okay. And Rich, the Hine Matov, I see. I put it in the new one. It's in there. Okay? You see it?
Oh, boy,
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
oh, boy, oh, boy, oh.
All right, here we go. Okay.
See. Test. There we go. All right.
Okay.
Richie, when I do my drum, I'm not doing it too loudly, am I?
We're doing the other one tonight. Hine Matov umanayim sheverakim gam yakad umanayim.
Okay, good. Ah, boy. Well, let's see. What time? It is 7:30. So it's good to see. It's good to see my friends Richie and Manny. And Nick is here. And I'm so glad that some of you have tuned in and you're going to share Shabbat with us. This is something that I look forward to every Friday night. I'm sure Manny and Richie do too. It lifts up my spirits. You know, it's just I need community, and you are my community. You are my extended family, and who else to celebrate Shabbat with except, your family? So, Manny, I think you have a nigun that you want to lead us in.
Yep, this was written for the Lubavitch Rebbe. Here we go.
Manny, sometimes you get a nigun going in your head in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
If the Lubavitch Rebbe gets a nigun, why shouldn't the Temple Bethel Rebbe?
Well, that was actually written for the Lubavitch Rebbe by Jeff Klepper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeff Klepper wrote that for the Lubavitch.
Yeah.
Well, for the Temple Bethel Rebbe, you could do one,
Sometimes I dream them, and I wake up and I rush to get it down on the recorder.
Yeah, very.
If you don't do it right away.
Oh yeah,
it's gone.
That's right.
You got to get it.
Okay, page 120 for the blessing over our Sabbath candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר, להדליק נר של Shabbat.
And now if you have a Mishkan Tefillah, we turn to page 123 for the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava u'vratzon, Ilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziyat Mitzrayim kivanu pacharta yotanu Idasha Mikol Amim B'Shabbat Kodshecha B'Yahava U'V'Ratzon Inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim. Good. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Cantor, lead us in some Zmirot.
Okay, here's a Hine Matov we introduced a while back. It was written by a cantor up in New York, Ilana Aryan. It's a modern Hine Matov. Hine Matov umanayim sheferachim gam yakad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim sheferachim gam yakad. Hine matov umanayim sheferachim gam yakad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. That's pretty.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Yedid Nefesh. The third one down the page is a beautiful melody. It means heart's delight, source of mercy. Draw your servant into your arms. I leap like a deer to stand in awe before you. Yedid nefesh harachamad, Yedid nefesh harachamad, Meshokav decha eretzonecha, Meshokav decha la 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 la. El Ritzonecha Yarut Avdecha Kemo Ayal Ishtakav El Muladarecha. Rich, play a little for us. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Meshokav decha el retzonecha, Meshokav decha la 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 eretzonecha yarut avdecha kemo ayal yishtachav elai el mul hadarecha.
Shabbat Shalom to Brent and Phyllis and Sherry and Cappy and Cheryl and Giselle and Nancy and Dee. Al must be watching if Dee is watching.
I would think so.
And maybe not.
So.
My wife Marilyn, hi, and Agnes. If Agnes is watching, George, there, George is watching, and Sheila and Larry. And Marlene and Barbara. So many people have joined us on Facebook, and undoubtedly many more have joined us on our streaming service as well, and maybe even YouTube.
Yeah.
So what are we going to sing now?
All right, Yismechu Hashemayim, Psalm 96, bottom paragraph. Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, B'tagel haaretz. Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, B'tagel haaretz. Yiramayam, Yiramayam, Yiramayam lo, Yiramayam, Yiramayam, Yiramayam lo, Yiramayam, Yiramayam, Yiramayam lo, Yiramayam, Yiramayam, Yiramayam lo. Yismechu Hashemayim, Yismechu Hashemayim, יסמקו השמיים ותגל הארץ. Okay, let's go to Lecha Dodi. We sing it every week. Ay, 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 Rich. We're going to sing ay, ay, ay. Page 138. We will do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi. Ay, 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 Likrat Kalam. Ay, 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 Pnei Shabbat. Ay, 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 Nikabla. Shamor v'zakor b'dibor echad. Yishme'anu el hameyukad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Hashemu tiferet v'letehila. Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi. Ay, 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 Likrat Kalam. Ay, 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 Pnei Shabbat. Ay, 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 Nikabla. Likrat Shabbat lekum v'necha. Ki mekor habraka. Merosh mikedem nesuka sok maaset v'makshava tequila. Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi. Ay, 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 Likrat Kalam. Ay, 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 Pnei Shabbat. Ay, 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 Nikabla. Itoreri, itoreri. Iva oret, umi ori. Uri, uri, shir daberi. Kavod Adonai, alayik nigla. Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi. Ay, 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 Likrat Kalam. Ay, 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 Pnei Shabbat. Ay, 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 Nikabla. Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Am b'simcha u'v'tzola. Tov emunei am segula. Boi chala. Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi. Ay, 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 Likrat Kalam. Ay, 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 Pnei Shabbat. Ay, 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 Nikabla. Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi. Ay, 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 Likrat Kalam. Ay, 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 Pnei Shabbat. Ay, 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 Nikabla. You know what, Rabbi? I can't wait to hear everybody sing that with me.
Oh, won't that be great?
I want to hear everyone sing it together.
You know, that's what we call a machaya.
Yeah.
You know, from the word chayim. Machaya means something gives you life. Oh, I can't wait. But it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
All right. I'm waiting.
Yeah. I believe we will be, that is coming before the Messiah will be here. Maybe that'll be the dawning of a messianic period for us.
That will be great.
There'll be a certain redemption. There will be a feeling of redemption when we can be together again.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, all right, let's go to Shalom Aleichem, page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yitkadav, Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, V'amad Yivarach Kirutei, V'yamlik Malchutei, V'chayechon, U'vyomechon, U'chayedecho Beit Yisrael. Bagala, Bagala, U'vizman Karivim Ero. Yeheshmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Ulam Me'amaya. Yitbarak, Yishtabak, Yitbahar, Yitromach, Yitnaseh, Yitadar, Yitalem, Yitalav, Shemei Dekudeshah, Le'elam Min Koberchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Damiran B'yama V'yimeru. Amen.
We rise for the Baruch Hu.
Lai, 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 lai. 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 Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. lai, 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 lai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. B'chokhmah potech sha'arim uvitvuna mishaneitim. Umachalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim b'mishmarotehem barakeh kirtzono. Bore yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil ben yom uven layla Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. The Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
We continue on page 155 in the English. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you this day. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God, who led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Standing at the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Mi chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot osei felech, Norah tehilot osei felech. Malchutecha ramu b'necha, Bokea yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai Himlo Le'olam Va'ed, Adonai Himlo Le'olam Va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot osei felech, Norah tehilot
Shabbat Shalom to Lori and Mark and Faye. Members of our congregation, Mark and Faye. It turns out the neighborhood Marilyn and I moved into, the development, they're there.
Nice.
They live just down the road from us.
Nice.
And I just got a notice from Bob and Dodie that they got their vaccinations. So they say they're on the way back to the temple. And by the way, I just want to thank Bob. Can you get a close-up of this? Bob gave me this incredibly beautiful message. You got one too?
Yeah.
Aren't they terrific with all the Hebrew letters? Can you get a close-up of this, Nick? There you go. Listen. Good.
I'm going to wear it at our upcoming B'nai Mitzvah.
Good. Me too.
I am.
I think
I'm saving it for
that's a
that.
grand idea.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, we continue with, how about we continue with Vishamru?
Vishamru. Vishamru B'nai Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. Vishamru B'nai Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. And we rise for the tefillah on page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei HaKol Bezocher Chazdei Avot Imahot Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer Moshia Umagin Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ezrat Sarah אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי מתים אתה רב ההושיע משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ברופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצליח ישועה ונאמנת על הקיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש הקדושים בכל יום יהללוך הצלה. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh, and we say, Amen. Please be seated. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai hatov, shimcha ulacha na'eh lehodot. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tazim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tazim Leolam. Ki ata Melech Adon, Leko HaShalom. Ki ata Melech Adon, Leko HaShalom. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. B'tov be'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'kol het u'b'kol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
I'm going to share with you a thought that has been on my mind this week. It's about knowing when to try and change something, and knowing when a problem just has to be accepted. Some challenges, some questions you can't answer. There are some challenges that cannot be overcome. You know, I was thinking about FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. You know, he was a tall, athletic man, very handsome, about 6 feet tall, and he was on a course to do great things. And just after the First World War, he came down with what was called infantile paralysis. We know it as polio. The man couldn't walk. And, at first he became very determined. He was going to beat this thing. He was this young, determined man. This was not going to defeat him. And so, he was a man of means. So he had every trainer, every piece of athletic equipment that he could think of, every bit of treatment that that money could buy. He got. He even bought a resort in Hot Springs, Georgia, because he heard that would help. And nothing helped. And he was going to be wheelchair bound for the rest of his life. He got incredibly depressed for over a year. This man who was known for his great enthusiasm and optimism, he was incredibly depressed. But something changed in him. He came to grips with the fact that he was going to be wheelchair bound. That was a fact. Nothing was going to change that. So he ran for governor of New York and eventually the presidency. And, he won. He won four elections. And, I've read a biography about him. And that in those days, newspaper photographers didn't take a picture of a president who looked like he was incapacitated. It just was, as he would say in Yiddish, poshnish. You didn't do this. And so when people would come to visit the president, and maybe in the Oval Office or in his private residence in Hyde Park on the Hudson, and if they got there early and they were waiting for FDR to come into the room, they were shocked. They were shocked. The door would open, and a Secret Service man would be carrying the President of the United States in his arms.
Wow.
And of course, FDR would be smoking his cigarette, with with that cigarette holder, and he would be so jovial. How are you, Joe? Good to see you. Glad you're. And the Secret Service man would put him into the chair, and it was like it was normal. And within a few moments, everybody forgot it. He had come to grips with something that could not be changed, a reality. I came across a story, kind of an Agadah, and I shared it with in my meditation yesterday. There's a story told of a king who had 3 sons. The first was handsome and very popular. When he was 21, his father built him a palace in the city in which to live. The second son was intelligent and also very popular. When he became 21, his father built a second palace in the city for him. The third son was neither handsome nor intelligent, and was unfriendly and unpopular. When he was 21, the king's counselors said, "There's no further room in the city. Have a palace built outside the city for your son. You can have it built so it will be strong. You can send some of your guards to prevent it from being attacked by the ruffians who live outside the city walls." So the king built such a palace and sent some of his soldiers to protect it. A year later, the son sent a message to his father. "I cannot live here. The ruffians are too strong." So the counselor said, "Build another palace, bigger and stronger, and 20 miles away from the city and the ruffians. With more soldiers, it will easily withstand attacks from the nomadic tribes that pass that way." So the king built such a palace and sent 100 of his soldiers to protect it. A year later, a message came from the sun. I cannot live here. The tribes are too strong. So the counselor said, build a castle, a large castle, 100 miles away. It will be big enough to house 500 soldiers and strong enough to withstand attacks from the peoples who live over the border. So the king built such a castle and sent 500 of his soldiers to protect it. But a year later, the son sent another message to the king. Father, the attacks of the neighboring peoples are too strong. They've attacked twice, and if they attack a third time, I fear for my life and those of your soldiers. And the king said to his counselors, let him come home, and he can live in the palace with me. For it is better that I learn to love my son than I should spend all the energy and resources of my kingdom keeping him at a distance. The story of the king holds an important lesson. It's often far easier and more effective in the long run to live with our difficulties than to pour resources into battling and suppressing them. Just think about that. Have you ever been obsessed with a problem that did not lend itself to a solution? Have you ever worked and banged your head against a situation, trying to solve a problem that really had no answer? I know I've done that. I've tried to change people in my life that that weren't going to change. I've tried to change situations and struggled and dissipated my energy on things that I just had to learn to accept and live with. Just like FDR. Just like President Roosevelt said, what am I going to do? After fighting it and then being depressed, he said, okay, I just have to accept it. Solomon said, L'kol zman ve'et l'chol chefetz tachat hashamayim. To everything there is a season, a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak. Think about this. This is wisdom. Knowing when to keep up the fight and the struggle, and to know when to just accept the situation. That is real wisdom. On a personal level, it's something I've had to learn over the course of my life. Is this a time to struggle, or is this the time? And the wisdom that we need to ask God is this. What's the right thing? What's the right thing to do? And so, what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to close your eyes, and I'd like you to meditate on this question. When is it time to sit still? When is it time to move? When is the right time to speak? When is the right time to be silent? May God give us that wisdom. Take a deep breath and release it.
Rabbi, I think there's a saying that applies to what you were saying.
What's that?
Let go and let God.
Yes. Sometimes
Let go, let God.
you don't want to be lazy.
Right.
You want to do everything you can
Yeah.
to manage the situation. And then there's a time when you got to just, what did you say?
Let go and let God.
Sometimes
Yeah,
you run up
that's it.
against a situation and you just say, let go and let God. And I think you learn that as you get older. There are times you go, this fight's worth it, this fight isn't. This one, I'm just...
Sometimes you can't do anything.
Sometimes you can't do anything.
Right.
And you, yeah.
Let
very
go,
good.
let God.
And I know the song that you were planning. I'm not gonna give it away, but I know the song you were planning, a little gospel thing at the end of services, and it kind of fits in.
Yeah.
How about we do "Oh Say Shalom"?
Okay, Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom Imromav. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Ve'yimeru. Yimeru. Amen. Oseh Shalom Imromav. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael ve'yimeru, yimeru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael ve'yimeru. Amen.
And now it's time for us to think about those people in our extended congregational family who are in need of healing tonight. People for whom we can dedicate, or to whom we can dedicate, a Misha Barach. Shirley Sprung is such a person. Cantor, do you know others?
Yep. We're going to say a prayer tonight for Bonnie Oppenheim, for Dan O'Brien, for Murray Oback, and for Ethan Caddis. Okay? Misha Barach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Barach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with the Refuah Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, Jill and Sharon and Shai and Janine and Sarah and Damon and Linda and Ira and Ranelle up in Toronto is watching.
Nice.
And Nancy and Rudy. And if Rudy's watching,
Okay.
Ruthie's probably with him, you know. You know, you can't say Rudy without saying Ruthie, right?
Yeah.
And Nori, she says, Shabbat Shalom, Cantor and Rabbi. Not sure the streaming is working tonight. Both my daughter and Bob and I can't get on it, but maybe, I don't know. I wonder if the streaming, but everybody is on, at least is on.
We have
Facebook.
a few ways to get on.
Yes, and get on. Yes, streaming, Facebook, Roku. You can go on
YouTube.
And YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes. So now I need some birthday music. This week, Anne Abulafia is celebrating a birthday. And Faye Redlick, my friend up in Boca. Rebecca Friedman. Barbara Lovenworth. She's in Delray now. There's an Armin and Barbara up there.
Yeah.
And Faye, my new neighbor and old friend. Linda Provder and Dr. Buddy Feldman. My dear wife, Marilyn Faber. She's only 22 years old. I
don't believe in age, though.
You don't believe in age, I know.
It's just...
And Avi Witz and Jessica Levy and Paula Rodkis. And we have some kids. Celine Weiss, Amanda Lambert, and Joshua Lambert. Oh, happy birthday to you all.
Richie, I know your birthday's coming up.
Your
you don't
birthday's
talk
coming
about
up.
it, Rich.
He doesn't have a birthday. Well, I think you did have a birthday. I think you're here.
Every day is your birthday.
That's right. So, we bless God. We bless God who thought of you in the divine mind before you were even born. And we bless the parents who brought you into this world and loved you and cared for you. And we bless the day you were born. So, Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha, Ye'er Adonai panav alecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And you know who else is having a birthday? Dr. Roy Ans, who's done so much to make this streaming service
we thank him.
possible. Very good. And now I need some romantic music. This week, Ingrid and Godfried are celebrating their love. Melissa and Jeff Cooperman are celebrating their love for each other. And Anastasia and Anton Kuklov. Anton and Anastasia Fedkutlov are celebrating their love. So just sit back, maybe cuddle up with each other, hold each other's hands, and listen to this music. This is for you. May you rediscover your love for each other every day. And never think for a moment that you know everything about that other person, because every one of us is a world unto him or herself. So be sure to discover something new and wondrous about each other every day. Never take your partner for granted. May yours be a love for the ages. And now we rise for the Aleinu. If you have your Mishkan Tefillah, that would be page 586.
Aleinu leshabayach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגר עלינו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתקבים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
This Shabbat we observe the Yortzites of Lester Atlas, Rudolph Bornstein, Maurice Chorney, Pauline Kometer, Kate Krasnopol, Saul Doppelt, Amos Edelboim, Frank Falduti, Anne Firestone, Laszlo Fisher, Bertha Freeman, Jules Gordon, Herbert Gorlin, Charlotte Gottfried, Albert Grooverman, Minnie Hollander, Arthur Jacobs, Maurice Jaffe, Billy Kaufman, Charles Lippman, Benjamin Lord, Isabel Margolis, Beck Nevins, Sally Plant, Rose Prusak, Dorothy Raymond, Sidney Reiser, Sam Samuels, Eve Samuels, John Shifter, Oscar Schiller, Ray Schindler, Richard Schulman, Alexander Schulman, Ernest Schwartz, Thad Shaw, Helen Selitsky, Jess Stern, Fanny Terry, Sarah Weinberger, Pearl Wise, Saul Wittenstein, Minnie Weinman, Louis Zaritsky, and Sylvia Zimmerman. And as always, we remember the 6 million. And we are presently in the Shloshim period for Bill Marcus, Harry Fagenbaum, Ronnie Mandelbaum, Lee Storch, Bernie Besserman, Betty Blank, Bill Fizel, Rabbi Michael Kane, and Sandra Tavlin. The Mourner's Cottage can be found on page 598. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shamei Rabbah, Be'alma Devarach Yerutei v'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayichon v'yomechon uv'chayedecha Beit Yisrael, Bagala v'izman kariv imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei lamaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu le'elam minko brechata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'miran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael B'mromein. Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael B'mromein. Amen. Okay, so don't forget about our friends and our neighbors who need your help. You know, donate non-perishable foods and the change from your piggy banks, and bring all donations to the temple back entrance Monday through Fridays. And, you know, shop at the Sisterhood Gift Shop online at the TBE website. All kids' items are on sale during the month of January. Now, big event coming up Saturday, January the 30th. Play for the Kids virtual poker. That's going to be fun. And you can be a sponsor, you can be a player, or you can be both. You can find information on our website. You can win a $500 Visa gift card, and there's a lot of other cool prizes as well. You can study the Torah portion with me tomorrow, 9:30. It is a Zoom class, but you can also watch it. You won't be able to participate, but you can watch it on our streaming service and Facebook. Let's see what else is happening. You can meditate every morning between Tuesdays and Fridays, and at 9:30 with me. I have a minyan on Thursdays at 9:30. Oh, this Thursday, the TBE Book Club is going to be meeting. I teach Talmud 11:30 a.m. on Wednesdays. That's a Zoom class. There's a Nosh and Shmooze on Tuesdays at noon with Rachel Kaplan. She's doing something with the owners of Cuba's first and only kosher boutique hotel, talking about Cuba. That should be very interesting. The Cantor's class.
Switching to Tuesday.
Switching to Tuesday.
Yeah.
You got to keep them guessing, you know?
Well, you know.
There you go. You need a change once in a while. 6 o'clock Tuesday p.m. And that's a great class. And that's on Zoom. It's everything you ever wanted to know about Judaism. Next Friday night, tune in with your favorite libation at what time is it? 6:45. We're going to have a Shabbatini. I'll be there with my bourbon and Coke. That's what I'm drinking these days.
Oh.
So we'll have a little drink before services next Friday. Look at trending, and if you're not on trending, just call our office during office hours, and we'll make sure that you get notified about all of the cool things happening here. Cantor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one more thing. You know who made the music possible tonight? I almost forgot about this.
I think I saw.
I think you did. There you go.
Yep, Dodie and Bob. Thank you, Dodie. Weinstein, thank you, Bob.
They do so much for this congregation.
We appreciate it very much.
And it really is something beautiful. If you want to sponsor Richie one of these upcoming Friday nights, could be for an anniversary or a birthday, or just because you like music, just let us know. Okay, Cantor.
Okay, I'm going to sing a special song tonight. You know, Martin Luther King Day is Monday, and I was just walking around the last few days singing a great song, and I looked it up on YouTube today. Mahalia Jackson. Boy, did she sing it.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a friend of mine who was her bass player for a few years, Don Mosley. He traveled the world with Mahalia Jackson. What a great guy he was. And this is a song everybody knows. He's got the whole world in his hands. And Richie's going to give it a gospel feel. Real slow, Rich. Here we go. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He got the little bitty babies in his hands. He got the little bitty babies in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. He got the earth and sky in his hands. He's got the night and day in his hands. He's got the sun and the moon in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. He got you and me, brother, in his hands. He got you and me, sister, in his hands. He got you and me, brother, in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. One more verse. He got the land and the sea in his hand. He got the wind and the rain in his hands. He got the spring and the fall in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole wide world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. I love that song.
Oh, that's a great song. Well, Shabbat Shalom. I see Trudy is watching. Very nice. And Ira up in Columbia, Maryland is watching. So Shabbat Shalom to all of you who have allowed us into your homes tonight to celebrate Shabbat. And thank you for joining us in our congregational home here at Temple Beth El. So this is our Shabbat table. I don't know whether you've eaten yet, but let's make a motzi. Okay, I'm going home to eat. I don't eat before service. So this is my motzi.
Okay.
Maybe you want to join us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.